Today in pro wrestling history, today we celebrate the birthday of Mike Kanellis, the Good Father, the Godfather, Kama Mustafa, Papa Shango, and the Soul Taker, Cody Deaner, Moose, Johnny Rods, Buddy Roberts, and Liberace. TNA would rebrand their show, calling it Impact Wrestling, on this day in 2011. TNA would present Sacrifice on this day in 2010. WWE would present Judgment Day on this day in 2004. Gerald Briscoe would become the Hardcore Champion, WWF Hardcore Champion, on this day in 2000. ECW would present Hardcore Heaven on this day in 1999. WWF would present No Mercy on this day in 1999. ECW would present Matter of Respect 98 on this day in 1998. Also on this day in 1998, WWF would hold Undertaker vs. Kane in a lights out match in 1998. The Midnight Express would win the United States Tag Team Championships on this day in 1987. Wojo Yaranko would win the Vancouver NWA Canadian Heavyweight Championship on this day in 1984. Duke Myers and Bobby Eaton would win the AWA Southern Tag Team Championships on this day in 1993. Also on this day in 1983, Ken Patera would win the CWA/AWA International Heavyweight Championship, and Bill Dundee would win the AWA Southern Heavyweight Championship on this day in 1983. Kim Sung would win the WWC Caribbean Heavyweight Championship title on this day in 1981. Also on this day in 1981, Eddie Gilbert and Ricky Morton would win the NWA Tri-State Tag Team Championships. Al Madrill and Tom Pritchard will win the NWA Americans Tag Team Championships on this day in 1980. Giant Baba would win the annual AJPW Championship Carnival Tournament on this day in 1977. Antonio Inoki would win the annual New Japan Pro Wrestling League Tournament on this day in 1975. Johnny Powers would win the NWF North American Heavyweight Championship on this day in 1973. Paul Jones will win the NWA Florida Heavyweight Championship on this day in 1972. The Claw will win the NWA Pacific Northwest Heavyweight Championship on this day in 1970. The Professor, Doug Gilbert, would win the vacated NWA Georgia Heavyweight Championship on this day in 1969. Also on this day in 1969, the Mongolian Stomper Archie Goldie would win the Stampede North American Heavyweight Championship on this day in 1969. Togo Shikamura and Chata Yokouchi will win the Tri-State NWA United States Tag Team Championships on this day in 1967. Also on this day in 1967, Boris Malenko will win the NWA Florida Heavyweight Championship. Vern Gagne will become AWA World Heavyweight Champion on this day in 1964. Bill Curry would win the NWA Texas Brass Knuckles Heavyweight Championship on this day in 1963. Brute Bernard and Skull Murphy will become the WWF United States Tag Team Champions on this day in 1963. Roger McKay would become the Pacific Coast Junior Heavyweight Champion on this day in 1952. Jim Lundis and Dick Schickat would win the World Heavyweight Championship on this day in 1934. Ed the Strangler Lewis would beat Henry Oderman for the World Heavyweight Championship on this day in 1922. Andy Kaufman passes away on this day in 1984, and that is it for today.